Hi everyone, it's Lavinia. Welcome. In today's video, I thought I would try to add another Zentangle to the string page. I haven't added anything since these two, the Trimond and Sand, and I thought maybe I would try to add Gnome to this area here, but I'm going to try this variation. If you want to see the tutorial on this, just go ahead and check out my playlist of Zentangles and it will be in there. But this is the gnome variation, and I thought I would maybe place it here. So I do have a 4B pencil. This is my Artist Loft 0.5. I have a tortillon and I have my eraser. I might maybe start drawing something out in pencil first, but let's go ahead and come a little bit closer and break this down so I can show you, because it's almost like a square. So we'll see how it turns out. And what I'm going to do first is divide this. Let's see, I'm going to go from corner to corner, sort of. We'll see. It may come a little bit undulated, but that's fine. Sometimes it's fun to see just what can happen with different shapes. Just going to turn this around. So I'm going to take this as the corner and maybe this as the center point. Let's see how that looks. I think the center might be a little bit higher up. Maybe like that. So got my eraser and doesn't have to be exact, but just to get an idea. Okay. And then what we're going to do is in each of these areas, so we would have, for example, this triangle shape, and that triangle shape, we're going to add an orb, a circle in each of those areas. And I think I am going to go ahead, put pen to paper, and we'll see what happens. That, and then I'm going to shift this around. Going to get rid of those pencil marks. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add these circles. Some might be larger than others, but that's fine because even the triangular shapes are different. And if you wanted to draw these in pencil first, of course, go ahead and do that. Okay, so we've got that. And now what we're going to do is, let's see, we are going to start drawing this shape here. So from the circle, we're going to have these curved lines. And let's see, so because we don't have a point here, because we're drawing on a diagonal, we're going to have it maybe come midway. And again, if you want to draw it in pencil first, go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to go ahead and take a chance do that like that. And then we are drawing this section. So somewhere sort of like midpoint each. So let's see. A little bit of curve here. Maybe this curve comes out just a little bit further. So we have that. And now I'm just going to rotate the page and continue with that. And I do want to try to connect. So if it's easier for you to come this way and come on up, you can do that. Or again, draw it in pencil. Might turn the page. And I do want to connect there. This one it's going to be a little bit shorter, but that's fine. This one, I'm going to try and have it connect there. You could continue though with each piece, but I think I just want to complete this. And then that one there. Okay. And now I'm going to put the other section in. So this one might come out to here. And this one perhaps maybe over here. Maybe I'll have this one come here and this one here. So you can, if it's easier to put the dots like I'm doing, go ahead and do that. So now we have our basic petal shape there. And what we're going to do now is start adding those lines. So I'm going to start from the center, and I kind of do want them to match up, to line up. So it's giving it that aura. And let's see. So it's almost as if you're, following this as an aura. Let's see. So I could probably start here. Again, you can make these as thick or as thin as you like. So whereas in this, we were just, coming straight up here, I think it's easier just to continue that this way. And I also want to continue this one from that point. And if you have to lift your pen, go ahead and do that. Don't worry if they're crooked. And I think I'm going to add an extra one here. Let's see if I can connect it with that one. So that is how that is looking. And now we're going to continue with, I'm going to call these petals, like these large flower petals. And these are going to also be auras. So let's see here. So we're going to aura that curved line there. And let's see what else there might be here. Yep. And then this one, I'm going to aura going the opposite way. That. So these petal shapes are where we are putting in the curved lines. And then in these little triangles, that's where we're going to put the straight lines. So just the slightest curve there. And now we'll add the straight lines. So I'm just going to start pretty much from the center and come down. Just come down straight. And if you have, your square, it's going to look more or less like this. This one is coming out a little bit wonky, but why not give it a try and see what effect it has. There is no perfection in Zentangle. So this one's going to come straight down this way. And I can always add some other lines in between if I feel there's too much space. All right, and then what I'm going to do is make a little circle to leave that little highlight and then fill in those orbs. So I put a circle there, and then I'm going to ink this in. And you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can fill in the entire thing. You can add additional stripes. You can give it an aura. But I thought I'd try something a little bit different since it's mostly stripes. just to give it a little bit of drama. And if you feel before you ink it in that your circle is too small, or just draw, let's say for example, I make a little circle here and I think, oh, that's too small. Well, then just put another circle elsewhere and then you can ink that one in. Okay, so there's that. And now we're just going to go ahead and add the graphite. I may add some white charcoal, we'll see. And I think I want to add some graphite around these orbs. I'm going to add some below these petal shapes, or on the outside, I should say, of these petal shapes, of what looks like petal shapes. As well as the center area. And let's grab the tortillon. If you use your tortillon and you feel that it's gotten too slick and not blending in as much, you can grab like a little piece of sandpaper, or maybe on a rougher piece of paper, and just see about getting that tooth back. I do have a little sandpaper. Let me show you. This is something that came with some of my pencils. And so I just, if I ever feel that, I'll just lightly rub it on here. Not sure. Oh, these were other tortillons where I was using it with, I think, oil pastels, or maybe pastel pencils. So I needed to sharpen those just to get a little bit of tooth back. And I think I'm going to add just a little bit from what I have left on the tortillon. I'm going to bring it down the middle just to make it seem as if that petal has a little bit of a shape there. And let me bring that closer so you can take a look. Let's see with the white charcoal. Just to brighten that up, maybe just a little bit. I am going over those ink lines, but that's okay. I just want that to pop. And maybe just a little bit also here. Now this is a double-sided tortillon, so I use this for my white charcoal. You can use a Q-tip, an earbud. If you don't have tortillons, you can take a tissue or paper towel and maybe just wrap it around to get a little bit of a point, if that's something that you want to try out. Okay, so I do like the way that that has actually turned out with the adding that white charcoal. I think gives it that additional dimension. and especially the darker edges here. I'm going to add just a little bit more. Ooh, definitely like it now. And I liked it before, but I think with the color of the paper, the white charcoal and the graphite and the ink gives it just that extra little pop. So this is again is a variation of gnome. If you want to see the tutorial on how to make this, just check out my playlist. And if you wanted to try this within a square, just go ahead and do that and just follow the same steps. But look how cool that looks here on the string. Let me see if I can zoom out just a little bit so you can see that there. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope you give this a try. Let me know in the comment section if you do, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.